Namaskar students, welcome to my series CBSE Computer Science Class 12 Working with Functions. In this video, I will explain mutable and immutable properties of passed data objects, passing list and strings to a function, passing tuple to a function, and passing dictionary to a function. So let us begin. First of all, let me explain what is mutable and immutable properties of passed data objects. So students, whenever we are passing such values or arguments or variables, parameters, whatever there, then they have some similar properties, and those properties you already learn in class 11th, mutable and immutable data types, so that you know. So here I will explain the simple stuff about them. So first of all, whenever you are declaring a variable, what happens? It stores the memory address of the actual object, not value itself. So it means, consider this example. In variable x, I have stored the value 75. So here actually when we are declaring this variable x, what it is storing? It is storing the memory address. So let me assume the address of variable x, the value 75, which is 1001. So when you are declaring the variable, it will store the memory address in its memory heap. Next, mutable and immutable objects and variables handled differently during working with function argument. So whenever we are working with function argument, both will be working differently. So here three variables I have taken: x, y and string. In x I have stored 75, y 12, and in string Python is written, and this is empty memory cell. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 3s are 12. 12 memory cells available. Now first three variables I have stored here. Now suppose I am going to change the value of x. So what happens? It will not change in place, but it will change the memory address or location. See here, immutable objects are those objects whose values cannot be changed. They allocate new memory whenever value is changed. So whenever value is changed, they allocate a new memory. Look at here, x. I have changed the variable x. So what happens here? X has changed the value. So now, x has changed the value as well as the address. So right now it is stored at this address. So if we consider 1001 at the first cell, then this is 1002, 1003, 1004 and 1005. So this is the relation between mutable and immutable properties of the variable. Now, how to pass list and string? So whenever we are using this type of data type, these all are considered as mutable and immutable, that you learn in class 11th. So I am not repeating that thing. So let me start how to pass list object to the function. So I have created one function, one program already for each of these topics. So let me start that one first. Python programs, functions, mutable. Okay. First list. What I have done here, I have created one list here. See, print initial values L. So initially I have created this function, my function. I have declared L equal to 11, 22, 33, 44. 4 values are there in a list. So basically when you start the program, it starts from here and it jumps to the function calling statement. Now in function calling statement, basically I have done this thing. See, create a list and assign input some values, pass list as parameter like a variable in a function header, perform the task, and pass the list as argument in function call statement. So that also you can do. You can simply declare this list first. So in global section, I have already uploaded videos about global scope, local scope and all. So that video you can watch from I button. I will provide you the link in description as well. So you can watch from there. So this is local scope. Now in local I have initialize these values to my list. Then I have printed those values. So first values are 11, 22, 33, 44. After that I have performed some task. I have added 3 numbers. First with append method and second with extend method. These are the list methods that you learn in class 11th again. values after add. After that I have added this value 30, 55, 77. Then I have performed one more task, that is L dot remove. Then values after remove L. So in this way you can pass a list in a function here as a parameter, as an argument. So L, here you can see if it is different also, then also it doesn't matter, you can declare differently. See, first let us check the program and check the output. F5. So here you can see first initial values, so 4 values I have entered, that is displayed. Second, values after add, so after append and extend method 30, 77 and 55. So these 3 values added. First 30 with append, 55, 77 with extend, and these are the final values after removing. 30 value I have removed by using remove method. So this way you can pass list object to a function. Now suppose I want to change, I want to use different list. See, then what happens? There is no change in output. You can declare in that manner also. So I hope you understand this program. So similarly you can pass any kind of list to a function. Now let me check another part, that is passing tuple. Okay, first we will check this also, string. So let me open this program, Python programs, string. Also I have created a simple program, string. How to pass a string? The method is very common. Here I have declared str1 and I have stored one word, that is hello. After that what I have done, I have used this plus operator to concatenate this word and this word. So here it will produce the output in this manner. First string hello, then this is appended string hello 2 times. So in this manner you can pass the string, declare your string, then pass as an argument, pass as a parameter. Okay, now next is tuple. So when you are passing the tuple, you have to consider this thing first of all, then you can go for tuple. Basically when we are declaring a tuple, what we are doing, we are declaring tuple in this manner, t equal to bracket, then values 55, suppose 78, 90. So when you are calling this function, basically the concept is telling that function requires parameter according to the values. So now I have passed this one. Now what happens actually when we are doing this thing? When you are calling this function, let me take in new file so you can understand. def f1 simple I have created. Now I am going to use 3 variables, abc, return a plus b plus c. This simple stuff I have done. Now I am calling this function just f1 t, and in t I am assigning 3 values by using tuple. This is tuple 88, 77, 55, and when I run this program, you can see missing possible required positional argument. Means when you are passing values to a function, these 3 values should be required here also as per positional argument or required arguments. So 3 arguments are required, it is telling like that. So this problem is coming when we are declaring a tuple. So I will solve this problem. How? Let me see. Declare a tuple with some values, pass tuples as parameter, perform the task, and pass tuple object as argument with star. So if you want to use that thing, what you have to do? You have to simply call like this, then let me print, so values will be displayed. Now that error will be disappeared and you will get the output. So whenever you want to do such thing in this manner, you can use star t in calling statement. So it will accept these all parameters. Means you learn that keyword argument. So that function and that mechanism is working over here to accept these values. So now let me show you some other programs. There are 3 versions I have created for tuples. Those all 3 versions I will explain. One version already I have explained that you have seen. Now tuple. See, so first in this manner you can run that one. So this we have covered already. Now version 2. In version 2 what I have done, I have just passed the tuple as T only, without any star or anything. How it could be possible? See, it can be possible with Python super feature. This is one feature which is allowed in Python only. You can initialize more than one variable in single line. So A, B and C, all the values equal to X. Now what will be there in the X? In the X we have passed T. So basically there are 1, 2 and 3 values. So that's why I have initialized these 3 values. Now what operation I have done? Addition. A plus 10, B plus 10, the same operation only, add 10. So here you can see the output. Let me put this code in comment, version 3. So this is tuple version 2 and it is giving the output properly. So whenever we have started, it is not allowing to pass T as an argument. So in this manner also you can accept tuple as parameter in your function. Now version 3. In version 3 we have used just this star here and this star here also. So any number of argument can be accepted. That is the keyword argument mechanism only, nothing else. And here I have written tuple. Tuple x plus 10 means whatever values are coming in that variable, it will be added by 10 for x in A. Means x in A means your variable will be where? From A. So A is coming from this tuple keyword argument. So this is also working very fine. See, so these are the 3 versions of tuple. So I hope you understand this concept, how to pass tuple in 3 different versions. So this way you can pass tuple as argument. And now the next part, passing dictionary. Passing dictionary is very simple. It is common like that. Declare dictionary with key value pair, pass dictionary as parameter, traverse for loop for key in D, and pass dictionary object as argument. So dictionary you learn in class 11th, how to declare and how to work with that. So I am not going to explain that one. Simply I will show you how you can declare variable of dictionary and how you can accept as parameter of function. So D, Python programs and dictionary. So here 2 versions I have created for this one also. First version is like this. I have declared the dictionary. The dictionary I have created, and in this dictionary I have stored day number and day. 1 Sunday, 2 Monday, like that. And I have traversed this by using loop. That also you know in class 11th you have done already. For key in D means key value. This is called key and D means the day. So day number, key, and then whenever you want to display the value you have to write like this D, then subscript bracket will come, this square brackets, and key is coming there. So you are passing that particular value using this. And here I have passed the same dictionary object. Now let me check. See, this is your output. And another version is something like this. Let me enclose this portion in comments. Now here you can see I have used this 2 star. This is also one mechanism of passing keyword arguments in Python. Now here I have declared each and every object separately. So first I have displayed the company data, second I have displayed the department, and third I have displayed the number of members and printed all those values. And XY is also available here. Right now you forget about this, that I will add later. And here dictionary is created, company name, department name, and members. So let me check this. Okay, so it is showing like this. So you can use dictionary in this manner also by using multiple star, double star we can say. Now one more magic I will show you. Suppose I am declaring function over here x equal to 90. Two more parameters I have added, y equal to 56, and I want to display these values x and y. See, it is giving an error, and error means invalid syntax. So here it's showing that invalid syntax. So whenever you want to pass such values, what you have to do? You have to start it from left side and keyword argument goes to right side. That is rule of Python. And in calling or printing, you can use that particular variables anywhere. See, now it is showing the output as well. And in call statement, I have not used x and y. So this is the magic of Python with dictionary. So I hope you understood this video. If you are enjoying and learning from my videos, hit the like button, share this video to your classmates and your friends. And if you are coming to my channel first time, watching my videos first time, press the subscribe button and press bell notification icon to get notified. This kind of videos I am posting regularly. So keep watching, keep learning. Thank you for watching. We will meet with new videos now. Now this chapter is over. So I am going to start question answer for this chapter. Thank you once again for watching my videos.